Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of Life with Brian. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day out there. I love these red leather seats. It just provide such a great background for these videos. But anywho, I'm in my 2018 Maserati GranTurismo MC, and I just crossed the 20,000 mile mark. I've had the car for about a year and a half, and it's been a great ownership experience, I must say. My first and only Maserati. I was, of course, a little bit skeptical and hesitant to purchase this car, mainly because Maseratis don't have the best, or specifically at the time I got the car, of course. When I got this car, I don't think the MC20 had come out. So maybe I've actually had this car closer to 2 years. But anyways, yeah, the Maserati brand certainly was kind of not on the top of best list Italian exotics, really cars in general, quite honestly, not just exotics, but I just kind of picture the Ghibli, and I did a lot of research into this car to make sure that it was sorted, had a PPI, all that good stuff. And I've mentioned in some of my other videos that this car has just been really a great experience. So yeah, it's just been a great ownership experience so far. No issues, no maintenance issues, haven't had anything repaired. Battery went dead once, that was my fault. And yeah, just really love the car. And yeah, 20,000 miles in, and still very much loving this car. And I don't really have a daily driver, as those of you who follow the channel know. I have a handful of cars that I kind of work into my rotation, but I have been driving this car more often, even more often than my Giulia Quadrifoglio, quite honestly, which again, I love that car as well. But this is one of the cars that, after I haven't driven it in a while, I just really kind of remember why I like the car so much. I miss driving it when I actually get an opportunity to drive it again. And I've driven this car, I've taken this car to work 2 days in a row, and I know that sounds nuts, first world problems, right? But yeah, that's very rare that I actually do that, and I think I may take it to work for a third day in a row tomorrow. It's the car is, again, naturally aspirated V8, that Maserati V8 HAL. The only other car that I have that would even somewhat comparable in terms of the sound this car makes is probably my Aston Martin Vantage, but even this I think sounds better. I think it's like 414 horsepower, something like that. So again, this is not a horsepower monster. You're not gonna be winning any street races or red light races in this car, but it's a fantastic GT. It's a fantastic cruiser. Very, very, very usable back seats. Nice cavernous trunk space, and it's a car that I take my wife on to dinner. I can pick up 3 of my kids, take them to school, run errands. I know I mention this a lot with some of my cars. Emphasis on some, because as you guys know, a lot of my cars are 2-seaters, completely impractical, not useful for really anything other than like a weekend fun car. But this car definitely falls into that category of my Giulia Quadrifoglio, my WRX STI, where I can actually use the car. And I love that. I love that it's a fun car. I love that it's a sexy car. And yes, I don't care that a lot of people like Doug DeMuro think the car's ugly or looks like a catfish. I personally think the car looks fantastic. I love the long, kind of sloping hood. It's just a real, and of course I love this leather. I've always liked the Maserati logo, by the way, the trident. I've always really liked that. And of course you have to get the MC trim, guys. Emphasis on the MC trim. The exhaust just looks better. The center mounted exhaust looks better. Get a few other little details, but yeah, I just love the way that this car looks, sounds. Now, okay, it doesn't drive like my NSX, okay? Like, it doesn't drive like my RX-7, but it's not that type of car. You know, this is a GT, it's a cruiser. I kind of compare it to, you know, it gives me kind of almost the feeling of being in my Ferrari or my Lamborghini, but without, you obviously have a lot of space, right? Sorry guys, I had to take that quick call. But yeah, it's not a huge car, but you know, because of the back seats, I don't feel claustrophobic in this car. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And oddly enough, even though my Giulia Quadrifoglio is a 4-door sedan, I actually feel like I have more space in this car, oddly enough. You kind of sit back. It's not like the in the Quadrifoglio where the door is kind of like, you know, you open it, you feel like you're still kind of halfway stuck in the car because of the pillar. This one just feels very open, very spacious. You have a lot of room. The seats are very comfortable. The driving position is good. Yes, it's not an automatic, but you know, there hasn't been a manual Maserati in like 100 years, I think. The automatic here is fine. Again, you have a naturally aspirated V8, which sounds fantastic, especially on the downshifts. Definitely hit the sport button, open up that exhaust, sounds fantastic. But yeah, this car is just, it has very few flaws. I know a lot of people poo-poo on Maserati, like myself, before I had one, and people think, you know, it's definitely fallen on hard times, to be sure. Is it going to be cut from, is it Stellantis, the company that owns Maserati? I know they've had really, really, really poor sales numbers past couple of years, as including Alfa Romeo as well. So if you have one of these, you might want to hang on to it. But yeah, these cars get no love. The brand gets no love. No one's buying Maseratis. And I think a car like this, it's not going to appreciate. It's not going to become a collector's item. But it's a real shame because it's a really, really good car. You know, the enthusiast, the Doug DeMuros of the world, the Jeremy Clarksons of the world, of course, would poo-poo on this car and say it's slow, it's awkward, it's ugly, it's underpowered, it's cheaply made. Yeah, I mean, you have some sticky button issues, and yeah, the infotainment is, you know, old, but I mean, again, from a usability, practicality standpoint, and oddly enough, at least my car, from a reliability standpoint, no problems. And just from a fun factor standpoint, you know, it's not easy to get it's not easy to find a sedan like this, which again, you have the Maserati name, which until, you know, it becomes like Pontiac, it's still alive, and it still has that heritage and, you know, that panache. Yeah, I mean, saying that not that, you know, you should ever buy a car so you're like, oh, I drive a Maserati, or I own a Bentley, or I own a whatever, right? But if you are into those kind of things, or you like not having what everyone else has, it's cool to be like, oh yeah, I have a Maserati, or, you know, as opposed to, you know, the other, whatever other run-of-the-mill, mid-luxury, Italian, or even non-Italian, just mid-luxury sports sedan that a lot of other people have. So I think I like the fact that there's not a lot of these on the road. Well, I'll take that back. There's a good number of Maseratis on the road, good number of GranTurismos, but there's not a lot of GranTurismo MCs on the road. So that's what I mean. But, you know, this car, I really like this car a lot. It's easy to drive, it's fun to drive, it's kind of quick and easy power, it looks sexy. It still gets looks and attention and thumbs ups from people who just appreciate, you know, beautiful looking cars that, yeah, it doesn't have 1,000 horsepower, it doesn't have carbon fiber this and that, and, you know, it's not, you know, technologically pushing the envelope or, you know, doing really anything on the forefront, but it's just a really kind of under the radar, really cool, really fun Italian exotic that I honestly think, in terms of smiles and fun factor, I get a lot more fun and smiles out of this car than I do out of my Lamborghini, and even my Ferrari. I'm just constantly worried about those cars breaking down. I mean, to be completely honest, and the driving experience of my car sucks, as you guys know. Again, for you guys who follow my channel, So this car is just, you know, 100 times better than those. And I would dare say, if it's not my favorite, it's definitely up there with my Quadrifoglio in terms of the favorite Italian exotic that I own. So just wanted to do a quick video, guys. Again, hit the $20,000 mile mark on this car. Really love it. Hope to enjoy many other adventures in the car, put some more miles on it. And yeah, if you get a chance, guys, get a nicely sorted Maserati GranTurismo MC trim, specifically MC trim, because I think those look the best, especially in a black or a red. Chef's kiss. So yeah, hope you guys like the video. Give it a thumbs up, comment below, like, subscribe. Please support the channel. Hope to catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.